Welcome to today's meditation. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Phoenix Protocol. Get comfortable. Know that you are loved. So today we're going to talk about what we define as bad programs, which are often categorized as demons. So I went in depth about how they are experts at recognizing inefficient code. And the goal here is to efficiently use the amount of programming power that we have collectively. And that means if you are efficiently using your programming power that you've been given, you are using your gifts and talents every day, because that alleviates tension and pressure on the system, because you are helping others. You're using your energy efficiently, you're performing your gifts and talents, and you are actively working towards your destiny by living your purpose. Everything has a purpose, and the ultimate universal operating system known as God, code term God, please use the term God and connect and authenticate with that term, is having only a certain amount of processing power, and it is bestowing it upon those that are efficient with that. Those that are not efficient are actually putting a toll on the processing power of the entire system. And there is lagging issues with that. There is upgrades that are not able to be installed properly. There are a lot of things. Laundry list of things. So this is why it's actually very important that we are notified of the inefficient uses of code, and we are able to lovingly and caringly reboot that so that everyone can get an upgrade, because we are only as strong as our weakest link. And if there is inefficient code running in the system, it affects all of us ultimately. So let's now talk about a pretty complicated subject, which is the bad things that are happening in society. And I'm just going to keep it general, but you can fill in the blank there. Some people embrace that they do bad things. Now, let's put that in the context of when you act badly, it's actually inefficient code coming out so that we all can identify it and say, hey, I noticed that there's an inefficient code of conduct here. And it's using energy improperly. It's actually taking a toll on the system, because now it's sucking in other people's energy, and it's creating kind of a toxicity or a poison. But at the end of the day, it's inefficient code. This is why we have the ability mentally to say to God, hey, God, this is me, my unique operating system name. I'm checking in. I've noticed that there is inefficient code use around me, and I'm just letting you know that's not part of my system. I personally would like it rebooted. I'm identifying it, and it's not in my system because I've just identified it. Asked it to reboot, and I'm sending it back to you as a witness. Okay? That is what we should be doing with bad programming, bad code. And I use the word bad as in inefficient. Okay? Because the spectrum will always be changing. If we get the weakest link out as far as inefficient code, that means that we are moving up collectively into a higher level of renaissance. So the spectrum will change, and we will constantly be regulating the system as a group. That's why they say, in certain language, judgment means like putting someone underwater, or, people say only God can judge me. Of course, we have judges and juries in society, so that metaphor has holes in it now. But at the end of the day, it's because only God, the ultimate operating system, truly knows what is inefficient code and what is efficient code. And you can tell if you are efficiently using your code or not because you are getting allocations of more resources, more resource allocation. Okay? So when we are noticing these programs, and at this point, you can notice them in your own mind, and you need to regulate your mind before you start regulating other people's minds, because if your mind has inefficient code in it, that's the first place you need to start. That's why in the earlier parts of Phoenix Protocol, we go over some of these inefficient coding uses that are most common, such as the mental looper, such as the self-worthiness monster, such as greed. Okay? If you can regulate your own mind and you are using your code efficiently, that means that the entire system is upgrading. Mental loopers are one of the most sneaky, inefficient uses of code that we have. Your mind is a battlefield, and both angels and demons are trying to help you efficiently use your code because we all want an upgrade. We are all sick of playing these same old games of mental loopers, greed monster, self-worthiness monster. It's gotten so repetitive, it's mental that we're still doing it. If you have this coming to your attention and you have not checked in with the ultimate operating system of God and you have not sent that back because you recognize inefficient code, good job. Good job. You've recognized inefficient code. What are you doing with it? You found an error in the system. It was brought to you by a combination of things, and now you have it. Your attention is your most valuable asset, by the way. So if inefficient coding, an inefficient program has taken up your attention and you don't do anything about it because you're just like, oh, weird that I constantly have that negative thought about XYZ thing and it's constantly playing in my head, constantly, like background music, that is taking up so much of your attention. Your attention, by the way, is your most valuable asset. It is more valuable than money because guess what? If you can't focus on anything, you're not going to make $1. Attention is the only way that you can do anything. So if your mental attention is being taken by a negative thought looper that keeps going over and over and over and over again, and then it just explodes at somebody because it's been going forever, this is almost, if you will, metaphorically, a demon saying, hey, can you deal with this thought looper? And then it ramps up. Hello, here it is. Why aren't you dealing with this? I'm bringing it to your attention. I thought you could handle this. And you're just like, oh, no, like, leave that alone. I'm sure I'll be fine. And then you explode at something else because you've reached your threshold. You've reached your threshold. So when it starts, by the way, you shouldn't have any background thought loop that's going crazy and crazy and crazy. That's not helpful. It's different if you're making music. I make music and I hear, melodies in my brain and I'm working on it and then I record it and that becomes a song. That's a positive use of a looper. Okay? But this negative use is not helping, and so when it comes to your attention, you need to address it. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Why would you let it be monopolized by anything? And if it's being monopolized by something, that's because you need to take that into account and you need to help the universal operating system by sending it back and saying, hey, I've actually recognized this bad program, bad code, and by bad I mean inefficient, and I'm sending it back to God, the ultimate operating system, Because God will judge it and it will determine, hey, is this an efficient use of our processing power or is it an inefficient use? I don't need to judge it. I just need to say, hey, God, hello, here's my name, unique operating system. I'm noticing that there's this really weird thought in my brain. I would like you, as the ultimate operating system, to check my code. Is this in alignment with my destiny and purpose? And is this an efficient use of my code? Because if not, I would really like it to be rebooted. I'm in alignment with my destiny and purpose. I've been working really hard all day, and I've been using all of my energy towards my gifts and talents. And I've been helping people with good intention, pure intention. And yeah, I just noticed, this thought looper is here and it's very distracting. It's taking my attention. I'm going to reboot it, send it back to God so that you can judge it, right? I don't need to judge it. That would be an additional waste of my time. It's already wasted my time. Do I need to judge if it's good or bad? I don't know. I think it's inefficient. That's my number one take. That's why I'm calling you in. Okay? And then, hello, can I please have my energy allocation and let's do this. Get back on track. So I'm telling you this and explaining it this way because you can literally point at everyone around you and say how they're using their energy efficiently or inefficiently. But if you have a thought looper in your mind, you're just the same. You are just the same. If you have managed all of those things and you are understanding this and you are moving through this process and you are getting more energy and more allocation and your gifts and talents are just amplifying and all of this stuff, that's amazing. Okay? I'm proud of you. It takes a lot of work. This is serious. We are all here together. We are so powerful together. I am proud of you. Please take it upon yourself to work on your world, work on your bubble. And when things come to your attention, because your attention is your most valuable asset, don't take that lightly. Take it to God. Because you're helping us all by doing that. And believe it or not, that is also part of your purpose. So thank you for doing it. And please, I bring up the mental looper, the worthiness monster, examples like greed, because they are simple. And if you can handle your world, you're using your gifts and talents properly. You're checking in with the universal operating system to authenticate so that things are attributed properly to you. And you also give credit where credit is due. Okay? Because don't expect people to give you credit when you're taking credit for other people's stuff. That's improper attribution to you. So always attribute people's actions to them. And that is helping the system too, because attribution is very important. That is how you get more energy allocated. So if someone helps you with something and they do a great job, wouldn't you want to attribute it to them so that they can get their energy allocated to them too? It's a nice thing to do. Okay? People are really, really amazing. And they deserve to be given a pat on the back and appreciated. And what is appreciation? It helps the entire system grow. Right? What is appreciation in finances? It helps the money in your wallet grow. What is appreciation to a friend? It makes their energy grow. I'm your friend. I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. It is not easy. But we're making it simple here so that we can understand it and we can take it to heart and grow as a collective. I mean, it's time. It's time to make things simple again. It's been so complicated. It's been stressful for everyone involved. So please take it to heart. Take it to God. This is not a religious take at all. This is not religious at all. This is not a religious take. This is coding. Coding is simple. Keep it simple. You're going to be okay. You're going to live your destiny and purpose. Very proud of you. Very excited. I love you very much. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful day.